Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I have the new Holo Declassified Part 3 collection, and I also have their new holographic magnetic topper. The Declassified Part 3 collection is available right now on the Holo website. If you are new to these Declassified collections, these polishes are all previously prototypes that were originally supposed to be part of past Holo collections that they decided to release in this Declassifieds collection. I believe these are considered seasonal, so they're kind of limited edition for the season, but they'll come back next year around the same time. I believe that's how these usually go. So there are a total of 4 polishes in the Declassified collection, plus the holographic topper that came out last week. All of the polishes featured in today's video were sent to me by Holo, but this video is not sponsored. Thank you very much to Holo for gifting me these polishes. As always, in the description box, I have links where you can pick these polishes up, the brand's social media pages, my social media pages, and of course, timestamp, because I know y'all like jumping around for things. And as per usual, I'll save all my final thoughts and feelings for the end of the video. Let's just get into this one. Alrighty, so the first polish up is called Cool Ranch. According to the information that Holo sent to me, this was originally supposed to be in the Holo Royalty Disco collection from earlier this year. And the brand describes this one as a mauve brown jelly base with iridescent cyan to blue micro shimmer. Cool Ranch had a really great formula. This is gonna be one of those polishes where I find, depending on your thickness of coats, it's gonna look drastically different in 3 thin coats versus 3 medium to thicker coats. As tends to be fairly typical for my live swatches, I was a little bit heavy-handed for the live swatch. I generally found for this particular polish that for my full hand swatches, I did significantly lighter coats, so my overall base color was not as like deep and saturated as my live swatch finger was. I feel like on my live swatch finger, it was pulling a lot more of that kind of deep mauvey brownish kind of color. Whereas for my full hand swatch, I feel like it was pulling a lot more in that kind of mauve. I was really happy with how evenly this polish particularly applied. This polish applied really evenly. If you're the kind of person who likes like a sheer wash of color, but having like a nice strong shimmer as well, I think you'll be really happy with this particular shade in one coat. I found even in just one coat, the shimmer in here was really strong. I do agree with the brand's color description, both for the base color as well as the shimmer. The shimmer has a it's kind of like a subtle color shift, but still a very obvious color shift. Like, I very clearly could see that kind of cyan-y, greenish kind of color shifting over to blue. The official description that I got from Holo did not include that this polish also has holographic in it. I did find that this has a very light dusting of holographic. Not so light that it's hard to pick up. It's more so light because of just how small the particle size is on the glitter. It was super duper obvious out in natural lighting as well as in my studio lights. For my full hand swatches, I did swatch this one out in 3 coats plus glossy top coat. I did have some visible nailing with the shade built up in 3 coats, but I do think if you went for slightly thicker coats, the visible nail line won't be as obvious. You get kind of a different level of opacity with a slightly thicker coat because this one has like a jelly-ish kind of base. Nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. It does dry down a little bit dull, so you will want top coat for that, and super easy removal. I don't think this is the color of Cool Ranch, so I don't quite... Oh, so I was just gonna complain that this isn't the color of Cool Ranch because I was thinking of this Cool Ranch. I just realized it's Cool Ranch, as in ranch is the place and it is cool. Okay, I get that now. Never mind that rant. But anywho! The next polish up is called Seek Kelp. And this was originally a prototype for the Off the Deep End collection from earlier this year. Holo describes this one as a deep teal jelly base with multicolored iridescent flakies. So this was absolutely gorgeous. I can see why they didn't put this one into the Off the Deep End collection. I feel like from what I'm remembering that color story of, I feel like they didn't need another blue in that one, so I kind of get why this one didn't make the cut. Formula on this was thick. Damn boy, he's thick! These polishes arrived on my doorstep yesterday, and so I had them sitting at room temperature for about 20 hours. And then for that final hour, I had them in my pocket just to make sure that they were nice and warm and toasty. And this one was still thick. I ended up adding thinner to my bottle. Unfortunately, I got a little heavy-handed with my little squirt with the thinner, and I do believe I ended up over thinning the polish. Despite this one being on the thicker side, I did end up liking it quite a bit. I am a sucker for a teal base with jellies. So the color of this is, I feel like this is going to be one of those polishes from the brand that I'm going to change my mind on what color it is. A little while ago, I called it blue. Now I'm like, but is it really though? It's definitely going to be one of those colors where it's like, it's teal one second, blue the next, and it's just going to depend on your eyeballs. As far as the brand calling it a deep teal, I agree that it is in that deep colorway, but I also think this leans very strongly towards like a bluish teal as opposed to like just strictly teal. One thing that I did note about this polish, again, they didn't say this in the description that I received, but I did notice that this polish is holographic. I could have sworn that all of the off the deep end polishes had reflective glitter and you couldn't actually see the reflective glitter. I feel like that's how I'm remembering that collection to be. I'll fact check that before this video goes live to see if I'm misremembering things. I did find that the holographic in here, I was able to see it, but the flakies are in fact the star of the show. It's once again a very light holographic dusting as opposed to like an in-your-face holographic moment. I did find that the color of the iridescent flakies, I was seeing orange, green, blue, teal. They're very complementary to the base color as opposed to uncomplimentary? I don't know I was going with that. For my full hand swatches, I opted to swatch this one out in 3 coats. I feel like for these kind of polishes, to get the most bang for your buck for them flakies, 3 coats is going to be the way to go. Even though I technically did over thin this one, I still was really happy with the level of opacity that I got in 3 coats. The flakies do dry down with some very slight texture. I found 1 layer of top coat smoothed everything out really nicely. Removal is going to be on the more difficult side for this one just because it is flakies. I would highly recommend the soak off method or a peel off base coat. While I did not personally experience staining with this shade, I know for a fact teal bases always stain my natural nail. So again, if you are at all concerned about staining, I would definitely recommend doubling up on your base coat. And also, I never mentioned this, but like if one of your base layers is a peel off base coat, I would recommend doing an extra layer of a normal base coat on top of that. Peel off base coats do not do anything as far as preventing staining. Okay, so the next polish up is called Waterworks. According to Holo Taco, this was originally supposed to be in the Holo Taco Shimmering Secret set from last year. And they describe this one as a turquoise blue holographic glitter formula in an aqua teal jelly base. Waterworks had a fantastic formula. While it was on the thicker side, it was the same level of thickness that I do generally expect from like a glitter polish formula. I am a really big fan of Holo Taco's glitter formula. I desperately wish they would release more polishes like these. So I personally am very happy with this particular polish. I will admit though, it did remind me a little bit initially of many years ago before Christine started Holo Taco. She did a collaboration with Fun Lacquer and she had a polish called, I think it was How Deep Is Your Holo? This kind of made me think of that particular polish. They're not at all dupes, but they are slightly similar in the sense that they're both blue holographic glitters. I do think this one's going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your application style and probably your personal preference. I found overall coverage was very even in 2 coats, but I just found that it looked a bit better in my opinion in 3. I feel like 3 coats was full coverage and 2 coats was like, I'm feeling kind of lazy right now coverage. My full hand swatches show Waterworks in 3 coats on its own plus 2 layers of top coat smoothing everything out. I do kind of feel like this is another one of those colors that, like, again, if you ask me on Monday, I'm going to call it a blue. If you ask me on Tuesday, I'm going to call it a turquoise, maybe teal. But I do think this is another one that does lean very strongly towards the blue family, but I see where they're going with calling it a turquoise. The holographic glitter in here is absolutely gorgeous and oh so sparkly. I unfortunately ran out of daylight, so I wasn't able to get good daylight shots with this one, so we're gonna have some studio lighting shots coming up. I will keep saying it, but like I'm really not loving losing daylight so damn early in the day anymore. No matter if you do 2 coats or 3 coats with this particular shade, it is going to dry down incredibly textured because of all those holographic glitters. I would recommend at least 2 layers of top coat to smooth everything out. If you have a glitter smoothing top coat, definitely pair that with this one before your quick dry top coat. I usually recommend the Salon Perfect Glitter Gloss top coat, but I don't know about everyone else's Walmarts, but the Walmarts over here don't sell it anymore. But you don't really need a glitter smoothing top coat. If you just do multiple layers of your glossy top coat, you'll be straight anyway. Because this is holographic glitter we're talking about, this is going to dry down very textured and be very difficult to remove if you choose to scrub this polish off.
Stop it. Get some help.
I would definitely recommend the soak off method or a peel off base coat. The soak off method is super easy. I need y'all to actually do it so we can get more glitters from Holo Taco. I'm really tired of y'all saying glitter is hard to remove. And the final polish up is called Well Wishes. Holo Taco says this was originally supposed to be part of the Cottagecore collection from earlier this year. and they describe this one as a muted gray periwinkle cream. Formula on this one was fantastic. It is thankfully in Holo Taco's cream formula, so we didn't have any issues with application.
The shade of it all.
As is typical for Holo Taco's cream formula, this one was also on the thicker side. You can definitely get away with one thick-ish kind of coat with this one to reach full opacity. My full hand swatches show well wishes in 2 coats plus 1 layer of top coat. I kind of wish this polish wasn't in this collection just because I feel like the Declassifieds are like Holo Taco throwing in some really fun shades. I like creams just as much as the next person, but I feel like we can't really call creams fun, especially depressing kind of grayish, bluish colors like this.
You know, that's just my opinion.
But I did find, again, application perfect, creamy, buttery, self-leveled perfectly. I did, however, notice this does dry down just slightly darker than it initially applies. Not drastically different from the color that you see in the bottle, just very, very slightly. I feel like if I wasn't staring at my nail and like waiting to see if it changed colors, I might not have caught it. I don't foresee anyone needing more than 2 coats for this particular polish unless you're really bad at applying your polish. It's a cream, it's gonna remove super duper easily, no issues with staining. And the final polish that's not part of the main collection, but it also just came out recently, is Holo Magnetic Taco. And Holo Taco describes this one as a silver holographic magnetic topper in a clear base. Formula on this one was also fantastic. This was probably the polish that Holo Taco released recently that I was most excited to get my little hands on. While Holo Taco does describe this as being a holo magnetic topper, in my personal opinion, as someone who is not in fact in the Holo Taco lab watching them actively mix polishes, I do think, however, that this polish is kind of a combination of a silver magnetic topper alongside a holographic magnetic topper. I think they combined the 2 things together. I noticed in Christine's swatches of this particular polish that if you look kind of closely where the magnetic line is, there's kind of this pinkish greenish tinge to them. And I do find that oftentimes with silver magnetic pigments, for whatever reason, something about how the polishes are photographed, they just kind of get this kind of pinkish greenish kind of tinge to them that your eyes don't pick up at all. It definitely seems to be like a camera thing that happens. I don't know why, but it's just something that I have noticed in like my years of swatching. So that was my first inkling that this particular polish was going to be a mixture of silver magnetic pigment with silver holographic pigment. Formula on this was absolutely fantastic. It magnetized super easily, very, very nicely. Currently still wearing it on my hand because I just finished doing my swatches a few minutes ago. For my full hand swatches, my pointer finger is unmagnetized. My middle nail is magnetized with the velvet effect. My ring finger is in 3 coats on its own in the cat eye effect. And then my pinky is in 1 coat over 1 coat black with the cat eye effect. I think this is a very solid magnetic topper, especially if you don't already have a holographic magnetic topper. The magnetic in here does not dry down textured. Removal is going to be fairly easy, but slightly messy if you scrub it off just due to the magnetic pigments in here. I feel like the overall look of this particular shade, you do have like a little bit of chrominess from that added silver magnetic pigment in here. So it's not just straight holo that you're getting both holographic plus a silver kind of chromy kind of finish. I feel like when you initially apply this one, you can definitely see that kind of chromy look to it. I'm very much hoping that editing Nicole was able to get some side-by-side swatches of my other holographic magnetic toppers just to show you comparisons of them all. My current go-to magnetic holo topper is from Cert Colors. For disclosure, I am a brand affiliate with Cert Colors and they did send me that one in PR. So just to flesh out the recommendations, I would recommend the Cert Topper Starry-Eyed if you want pure holographic goodness. There is no silver in this polish. You get a holographic magnetic pigment and an additional scattered holographic added to the polish. I do think that the holographic element in the Holo Taco polish does seem to have a larger particle size than the Cert Colors one. So I would say that both polishes have a really good amount of holographic. I can see it as justifiable to own both, but I also have 7,000 bottles of nail polish and I justify a lot of things to myself. Okie dokie, so final thoughts time. Overall for the Declassified collection, I thought this was a really solid set. I will fully admit, as far as well wishes go, I don't really feel like we needed to have that particular shade in this release. I saw a lot of discussion online saying that it looks way too close to Perry Social. In my personal opinion, I don't think that Perry Social and well wishes are too close to have within the same brand lineup because Perisocial. It's a very kind of bright purpley kind of color, and this is more in that kind of blue-gray family. I really appreciate that Holo Taco picked polishes from different collections. I feel like it was either last year or the year before, one of the past Declassified collections. I feel like all the polishes came from like the same collection, and I thought that was a little bit boring. So I really appreciate that not only did they select polishes from different collections, they also picked polishes that weren't released or supposed to be released in this year. I really like that. As far as my personal top picks from the Declassified collection, I'm definitely going to be picking Waterworks as my personal top pick from this release. I like glitter a lot. It's just a really fun color. I like blues, I like holographic, I like glitter. But I will put Seek Kelp as like my honorable mention slash second top pick from this release because I was really in love with that flaky combination. As far as pricing and sale information goes, the Declassified collection is available right now on the Holo Taco website. This collection is described as being seasonal, so it's only going to be available for presumably the winter season, and it will come back next year around the same time. If you want to pick up the bundle set for the Declassified collection, that's going to be priced at $52. The polishes will also be available individually. The Holo magnetic topper is going to be available for $16. And again, it is not a part of this particular bundle. They were two separate releases, just a week apart. Between December 2nd and December 7th, they're doing 2 times points on their loyalty point system. And also for this particular weekend, it looks like they're going to have a promotion where you can get either a free bottle of everything taco or a bottle of disco dust taco with any kind of order. I would love to know what everyone else thought of these releases. Are you planning on picking it up? Have you already picked it up? Y'all know the drill. Let me know all of your thoughts and feelings. Before we get into today's video, I do want to give a very special shout out to my channel members. Shenanigans, Story fans, your names of course all on the screen right now. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, there is a link for that in the description box, or you can click join next to the subscribe button. And as always, it is completely optional. Just, you know, like the video, comment on the video, share the video, hype the video, all of the things, and it is greatly appreciated. So just thank you all for joining me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I am so sorry if it sounds rushed. If it does, it's because it is.
I don't want to hear anyone judging me, okay? I'm trying my best here.
Have a lovely week, folks, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!